we'll get to the order, go to the library, I'll take out the shard, and just sort of sit there.
As y'all get to the library, um, perhaps y'all have been pinned down longer than you thought. Dravik and Mac, ignoring time space for a moment, I'm gonna say that y'all are here having finished your conversation from last session. And as a moment of reflective silence is uh, brought to life between the two of you, it is cut somewhat short by Volton and Teos entering with this shard. Mac, you might have a response to this.
Give me my precious.
Now, wait a moment.
Are we still in the...
The library, yeah.
Okay. He just walked in with the shard?
Yeah.
I walk in, take it out of my backpack, and just like thunk it down on the table.
Volton, how much do you know about this?
I know it speaks to me. It's some sort of important to this demon we now combat.
What do you mean it speaks to you?
When I picked it up, this Belishara entity tried to take my sight. It spoke to me. Needless to say, I left it disappointed.
I advise not touching it.
I will take your advice into consideration.
What needs to happen is it needs to be studied. And Mac begins to take his backpack off and like flop out his books, everything, his notes from him studying the other obelisk that brought him here. And yeah, I mean, Mac's at first going to ritually cast identify as
One sec.
what was that?
You will not be able to cast Identify without touching the obelisk. It in fact says you touch the object throughout the spell's casting.
That's shitty.
Didn't think it'd be that easy, did you?
I cast identify.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you go to touch it, I will grab your wrist.
Okay.
And shove your hand on it faster.
Mac, as you spread your books out on the desk, glyphs and runes begin to float up above them, glowing blue, almost like a what's the one Jarvis, like a Jarvis situation. And knowing what you have to do, you grit your teeth, reach for the hi Sarah, reach toward the book, and feel a firm grasp around your arm. Hello, Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
Why, thank you.
I will grab your wrist and I will say, did you not see what happened when everyone else touched it? Do you really think this is the smartest course of action right now?
I am not like everyone else, if you can't tell. I am in a Warforged state right now.
I care not for what you look like. You're intelligent. I can see that. We need that right now. You touch this thing, and you die, or you become like them. I will kill you. And I will not hesitate. So think about that before you put your hand on this thing.
Teos, if I may interject here. If he dies, he either is a meaningless automaton, in which nothing is lost, or he's not, in which he has everything to gain, and he might actually learn something useful for us. And we have too much to gain for him to worry about things such as this. And as you said, you have nothing to gain and everything to lose if he does not do not learn more about this.
I need to know if this is the same obelisk as the one that brought me here.
But I let him go, but I will take a step back, and then I will unsheath my greatsword, and it will just be, I'll just like kind of like stand it like this, and just kind of sit there watching you. And like if his eyes start glowing, I will be chopping his head off.
I'm going to blindfold him.
Sorry. Mac.
Just throw a bag over his head. I'm like, all right, now go.
Toward the obelisk. Something is pleased. And you touch it as you're casting the spell. And your eyes do not start glowing. The light from your photoreceptors begins to leave them and pour into the obelisk shard. Through your casting of Identify, I need a wisdom saving throw.
Shit. How would a natural 1 do?
Oh.
Yeah, you live. Nothing bad happens to you.
Nothing bad.
I don't see why anything bad would happen from that.
Get ready, Telos.
Psychic damage to be dropped to 0 hit points and go unconscious. And as you are unconscious, you can see Gracklestew in its entirety, a city to which you have never been. You initially see from an aerial perspective bats on the ceiling of a cavern. It is a hard city. And unlike, even more unrecognizable to you than the sort of pastoral alienness of Blingdenstone, is this city of harsh and deeply utilitarian geometry. There are no domes. There are no pillars. There are no tubes. There are squares and permutations of triangles. The houses, or at least you imagine them to be houses, are very small. Enough space to live, cook, and sleep in, and nothing more. You can see in one far corner of town fire belching from an enormous forge. And you can see at that forge a massive dragon. And when I say massive, I mean not only large and seemingly very old, but also a bit pudgy. This dragon Timberhod, you would hear the voice, is old, growing older. It is a dragon that powers the forges of Gracklestew, and its keepers.
So it's a red dragon.
Yes, its keepers, the ones who keep it fat and happy enough to power everything, whisper to each other in their minds before they pause, turn to you, and say, welcome, honored guest of the Sentinel. Who are you? You can see Dwergar in black cloaks with thick white beards and eyes that glow in various shades.
I attempt to respond. Where am I?
We share all things in the mind. You know where you are. And you do. You're in Gracklestew.
Okay. I'm purely gonna observe. I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna say who I am. And yeah, I'm just trying to. Mac is thinking he's in this sort of mind, this sentinel, uh, and yeah, he's like it's almost like he's in a dream. He feels like where he's like trying to maybe even like control, like either like walk forward, down into the streets or whatever, and sort of explore, uh, the village slash city.
A moment before you depart. Have you seen the temple? You know the way, yes.
I do not know the way. Would you show me?
Ah. He touches his temple, and you fall beneath the ground. It is cold, and you can feel where you're moving in relation to the city. And you can feel what's above you. You can see what's above you. You can see everything. So many eyes. You have lost 2, and you have gained so many more. You can see a wide chamber, a massive obelisk, and a shard of the perfect size, somehow broken. And you know that it must return for all things to be complete.
Is anyone else around me?
There are other worshippers, yes. There are eyes carved into the floor, into the walls, into the ceiling. There are maybe a dozen people, all Dwergar. All of them sit crisscross applesauce and simply stare, unblinking. and you return to where you are in the Order headquarters and begin a short rest that will bring you back to consciousness.
Okay.
Chaos and Vulcan, what are y'all doing about this?
So I assume we just saw him just sort of standing there with his hand on the thing for a while.
You see the light from his eyes
Yeah.
move into it, and then he collapses.
Told him
Alright.
not to touch it.
I'll look at his crumpled form on the floor, having made no effort to catch him. and and I will. Is it dead? Do you check for a pulse?
I guess we'll find out. I know not either. Dravik, you are here, correct?
Dravik's mind is just screaming in sadness.
Fair. It is allowed to scream and be sad.
I want to check like vitals. I don't know if that even works.
You can roll an Arcana check.
Is there like a please charge button somewhere?
Yeah. It's the pilot switch.
Yeah, where's his switch?
Where's that at, Dan?
The on off button. You don't want to know.
Mac, you are going to be under the effects of the blinded condition, while the obelisk is not within, is not on your person.
Oh,
Great.
By on his person, does he have to be touching it, or does it have to be like in around him, like sitting on the table? Is that considered?
That's close enough.
Okay.
Horn carried close at hand.
Let me know when I'm going to wake up.
Okay. I'm going to roll that Arcana check for Dravit, because whether or not y'all know he's alive may be relevant. Okay. Y'all can feel some kind of magical energy moving within Mac. In like a familiar way. That old thrumming of his engine, that is how he functions.
On standby sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pulse.
Well, I'll pull Mac to a cot and lay him there. Not that I know if he cares, but it seems like the right thing to do.
Skeleton. Go ahead.
Yes.
You see, when we were still in that cave, did you see that vision?
Which the vision talking about?
Of the
Yep.
the obelisk leaking,
Yes.
calling for its peace. That was Grackle Stew.
Mm-hmm.
I have spent many years there. I was planning to go back. I honestly just came for a short visit. Meet the new Archbishop, who apparently has been here for at least some time, so is already aware of what's going on in Grackle Stew. My plan was to leave and head back, and then people started losing their eyes. It will not be easy going back. We will not be allowed in.
Well, I would suspect someone like you would know of alternate ways to maneuver about the city.
That's just it, I do. I thought I knew every inch beneath that city. but I must confess I do not know anything about that obelisk. I'd never seen it in all my years there, and that troubles me.
Well, could it be a more more recent development?
When you saw it, it looked ancient.
Yes, but in the same way that Mac was brought here, perhaps it transported itself.
I suppose that must be possible.
It's a fair conjecture, and perhaps you just secreted away in a place that even you would not know.
And that
Perhaps
is,
under
of
heavy
course,
guard.
possible as well. Is, of course, possible as well.
Tom.
Yeah.
In the vision of the obelisk, would Dravik know a general location from there? It's been a while since he's been to Grackles too, but he did grow up there. So
It is surely under Grackleshoe. It is under the. One sec. I can have. I can't have a map. I don't know where that book is, and I don't care. Yes, you would know you would know relatively where it is. Where exactly it is isn't super relevant until we're it's in the Ratways under Grackleshoe, which are you would probably know pretty well developed. Not all Dwergar know that. But the Catholics and the Darrow that live in Grackleshoe are definitely aware of that.
So would you say that I probably, too, also know where it is?
Catholics.
I know how to get there, yes. But I worry what will be waiting for us there.
also, my Arcana check was a 7 for Mac. So if there's
You
any
know
hesitation-
exactly where the turn on switch is.
I stick my hand up your nose. And,
Bingo.
around.
Very well then. If there's nothing else, shall we all rest?
I'm gonna keep watch over Mac. I actually might grab him and bring him up to his quarters where he was staying. And then just kind of sit there. Try and rest a little bit until he wakes up.
Also, can it be known for half the party that wasn't here last time that at this point in time, did they all? No, you guys would have seen this. You saw on your guys' way back to the order. You guys walked by I forget, is it the foaming mug? Is the name?
Yeah.
We walked by
Oh,
the
yeah.
foaming mug. Curse was staring at it, longing to go in, but was unsure about going. And the little guy appeared, walked up, held his hand, and started tugging him towards it. So that's where they went while you guys were gone this whole time.
Brother has been in Relapse City.
And Ozimir, is that his name? Thomas's character?
No,
that'd be
that was
Edwin.
Osmir's
Edwin,
from
thank you.
Edwin Stormcrow.
That's right. Edwin, what of him?
He split. He went back home. He's pretty shaken up by all the death.
To be that young again. If only.
So, Teos, I can't help but wonder that fight. To put it bluntly, you had wings.
This is true.
I'm just gonna tilt my head inquisitively.
Tails calls an explanation.
Well, I am from the very race that I look, but I believe I am not truly one of them. See, there are a bunch of demon worshippers,
Yes,
a whole lot of them,
generally speaking.
and when one pops out looking like an angel, they tend not to like that.
So you were born with
I,
Every time a bell rings, Atelos gets his wings.
them.
exactly.
And you know nothing of why or how.
I know nothing other than that. I have been in many situations where I should have died, where death should have come for me. And yet it was nowhere to be found. I have come to two conclusions. Either the Lord our God has a higher purpose for me, and has therefore kept me alive to this point. Or maybe I am death.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. One of those might be likely. And
I
that
pray it's the
perhaps
first.
kindred spirits. And then as he says that, I'll start hacking my lungs out
Hacking
again.
again.
As I take my hand away from my mouth, you see the bandaging is covered in blood. You sort of ungracefully hide it. It's just time to rest. I'm going to turn down the hallway and go to my chambers. As soon as I get to my chambers, the door slams shut with no pretense of stealth. You just hear the echo of this things being thrown, of some sort of unholy racket going on, for a solid like 2-3 minutes, and then silence.
As Teos, Teos, are you wrapping up the night as well? Are we taking a nap, or are we taking a stroll?
Yes. I would probably rest.
Of course, that's prudent. Teos, you sleep deeply and dream of blood. Mac and Dravik, Mac, you're still like on a cot in the library. Dravik, are you gonna remain okay?
Yeah, I think in whatever, like one of the chairs that we were sitting in, I'm just gonna kind of doze off a little bit, remaining on a like I don't think it'd be the best sleep. I'm just kind of like waiting for him to come to, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think when I saw Mac, like the light kind of leave from his eyes and go there, I was reminded of my encounter in the cave a while back when something similar did that to my own eyes. What was left of them, and I think maybe for one of the first times in a very maybe ever actually, Dravik, as he begins to doze off, is looking at this almost new friend who is laying before him with eyes still off, mutters almost a prayer in sort of like a Please, if there's anything good up there, let us not lose another. And he kind of drifts off into a broken sleep.
Tam, is Mac going to reach out to find more information in his sleep?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Then we have two characters this fine eve who spend the night indulging in their vices. Let's see how you're punished for it. Or if you are. We'll see. Knowledge has a price, but it's a good. So, what do you seek to know?
I seek to know what happened to the obelisk. I want to maybe one of the cultists that are there. Um, I or someone in Grackle Stew like the ask about how the temple was destroyed or injured or fractured. Because the obelisk is the temple that they're talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
You find one of the Dwergar and extend your mind in connection to his. There is no knowledge of how the obelisk was fractured, and you won't find any on the Dwergar here. Would you like to ask the Watcher?
Yes.
Okay. What do you say?
I say, Alashira, can you hear me?
Always.
I know you've came after my world before. Why is it that you are coming after this one?
Why? I seek to know as you do.
What's your
You
play, fiend?
do not call me fiend. The zealot speaks so because he does not understand. You and I know better. I seek more eyes, eyes everywhere. So do you.
So you just want to be able to see everything. Is that it? You want to be able to have your minions everywhere. Because you're stuck in Kyber. You live in vicariously through your little pawns.
Kyber. was never a prison. A respite, perhaps. Ah, we are here together. Only speak what you wish to know, and you will know it.
I have, and you have given me no answers. Clearly, it is something that you also lack yourself.
Hmm.
I am done with your games. Mac is going to attempt to leave the chat room if he can.
Mac will try. And you all wake up. Volton, did you take the obelisk shard with you as you retired?
Yeah, I would have put it somewhere safe. I probably would have put it in the vault downstairs.
Nice. Mac, you wake up blind.
So, where
Oh,
are we?
Is that a question for like other people?
Well, I'm in the
You
where am
know
I? Where was I drug?
I left
uh,
you in a cot in the order barracks, and unless Dravik moved you.
you know that you are horizontal. You are laying down at this time.
Okay, is Ravik in the same room?
Yes.
So
Hard to say.
I guess you don't know that. I am in the same room.
Dravik, when I awake from my essentially powered down mode, you hear a very similar to like an Iron Man suit turning on, and you can see the like essentially in between the cracks of the metal, like streams of light going through like up and down, like a fun gamer's keyboard and everything like that, and in you don't see light coming from my eyes, and as I'm laying down on the cot, silent, recognizing what was happened, that she took my eyes like Volton. You you hear a very similar uh, sound to like Iron Man's like blaster going off, and with a jolt of the body from my face emerges this glowing spectral face, actually, and it's a near identical version of my head, and it just turns to you, and I say, "Now I can see." As I use my manifest mind from my spellbook to be able to see and hear.
Can you see through?
Everybody is immune to my tricks. What's going on?
That's crazy.
I can see. It's basically I have dark vision up to 60 feet. If the thing moves with away from 300 feet of me, then it gets dispelled. If dispel magic is cast on it, then it goes away. But I can also just turn it off as a bonus action. It takes a bonus action to use, but it'll be basically perpetually on. And if it goes away, I can expel a spell slot to get it back of
That
any
is
level.
really
And you
funny.
can
I'm not gonna lie.
So
That is
now we have a
fantastic.
floating head walking around with us this entire time.
does your body come like can you control your body too
Oh
while
yeah,
you're
yeah.
whoa.
Now I don't feel obliged to give you back the shard, most importantly.
Dravik is like, what the hell is about? Like, what's going on? Like, first, like, as you, I guess you wouldn't see this first. Dravik looks over, he sees you like starting to boot up, a glimmer of hope in his eye, and then he sees that the light doesn't reach your eyes, and just like kind of rushes over, um, worryingly. And then as your spectral face appears, does it look like your robot face or like your okay human disguise?
It's just like the front half of it though. Like the back. There's like no back to it. It's not like a head. It's just like a
Like a
like a
two-dimensional disc almost. Like a
yeah
little.
yeah yeah yeah. It's pure hologram
You
type
got like a Vulcan,
stuff. Kind of.
but it has eyes.
Uh, uh,
Don't worry. It was just a software update.
Dan, it'd be really funny if it was just eyes that you just sunk into your sockets, and whenever you want to look out a little bit farther, they just get out of your face.
that's new. Mac,
Bellish,
is it still you in there?
yes, it's still me. Belishira thinks that she can take whatever she wants, but there are other things that outwit her.
When you're talking, is it your mouth that's moving, or is it your hologram mouth that's moving? Is it
My
both?
it is coming from the person. The hologram itself cannot like it exudes a light and it like dim light in a 10-foot radius,
Mm,
but I telepathically see see through it and hear through it, but I cannot speak through it.
okay. I'm gonna like very cautiously like reach out to like touch. Does my hand just like go through it like a
hmm
hologram? Is it
hmm Yep.
kind of like
Yeah, maybe like as you push your hand through it, there's like it's like tingly. Almost like an electric field, if you will.
okay, okay. This and you say that there's no such thing as this is
It
miraculous. I don't know what it is.
Many things in the natural world seem miraculous to those who have not studied it.
Well, I suppose I'm one of those.
Where is Volton?
Well, last I heard him was in his chambers. Hopefully he's all right.
We need to talk about the shard. Please come along if you wish as well.
Y'all can see the barracks have filled up substantially as people have come to rest for the night. For most of them, it was either a very late or a very early night, um, depending on whether they were primarily involved with the battle or its aftermath. Um, y'all are gonna head over to where Volton sleeps. Volton, where where's morning prayer?
That would just be in the chapel, but I'm not there.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. You hear a knock on your door.
There's no response.
Volton.
You hear sort of mumbling from the other side of the door.
Mac is awake. He's different. He said something about the software update. Can we come in?
Hear vicious hacking and continued mumbling.
Kind of like turn to look at Mac.
Volton, it's about the obelisk. I have seen things, and we need to discuss what we are doing with this now.
You just hear, I must grieve.
Are you done grieving yet?
There's no response. This
I,
goes back to
I,
continued mumbling.
I push my face through the door.
I am visibly shaken. Some software update.
You, you see, his room is in disarray. Like the scant furniture he has been like thrown to the side. The table's knocked over. The chair's thrown against the wall. His bed's like pushed out diagonally from the wall. You see him, his back turned to you, sort of hunched over. He's got his breeches on and his bandaged form, and he's like hunched over with his mask, with a dagger, trying like he's carving tears into his mask, and just mumbling under his breath. I have no eyes, but I must cry, must grieve, and just sort of shoddily trying to carve this tear into his mask.
You see the face sort of float over to you, like right next to your face. But still from the outside you hear my voice.
I have a quick question.
I'll sort of see the light look up.
Well,
Just take the dagger and swipe at it. Be gone, demons! He's going full Padre Pio, like fighting demons in his bedroom. He sees it and he's like trying to swing at it. Leave me be. There's like blood on his chin and his chest now.
Fulton, you are a soldier. You know the cost of war. You know the cost of battle. And I will admit I'm not akin to emotions or really compassion. But I believe that this is actually a time where we may have to put our grieving aside for just a moment to talk about more important matters at hand. Because if not, then the grievances will only be all the more.
You can go limp, sort of let the mask hang down his side, and step up to the face. I have not shed a tear in 20 years. Try as I might. Everyone that's died, I've not been able to grieve. I killed innocents yesterday, we all did. But I'm called to be better. That is my calling, to die and serve. But here I still live.
Perhaps we'll join this next quest of which we may both die together.
The door slowly opens. Dravik is going to step in. Great look of like serious understanding and sadness.
As soon as the door creaks, the greatsword you've never seen me take out, I pulled out in a swift motion. Guys, it's not what was once a truly colossal greatsword, like obnoxiously big two-handed sword, is now shattered like a third the way down, and he wields it in one hand, this shattered blade and points at you, without really, almost like not even recognizing your face. I have killed many with this blade. I will not hesitate to add one more. Then he sees you, and slowly he'll lower it down.
I share your pain. These eyes are a curse and a gift. Kind of points to the glowing. They also do not shed tears. And I am a broken man. I have hurt so many people. I have tried to cry so many times. But perhaps Perhaps the one thing that I think could maybe pull through for our fallen comrades is to take our unshed tears and to we have to do something, Voltin. We can't just. The only way through is to push forward. I'm not a religious man, but I don't. So one day I picked up a book and I began to read it. It was about hell. Dante. And he journeyed through hell. And he could not stop to save remorse for the people who were suffering. He could only push through in hopes that his own redemption could mean something. I am stuck in hell. Can't seem to get out of it. You are a noble man. You have inspired people, me. Let me help you carve those tears and then let us move on.
Eos, it's about this time when you begin to join the group. Little guy, if you wish, you may be as well.
I have a question for Volton.
Mhm.
Were you silent the entire night, or were you complaining about you need to cry?
Most of the night I did not sleep a wink last night.
But were you ever talking to yourself at all? Like, is this
I
idea of you can't cry was that present throughout the night or not? Like
It would have
verbally
been
out loud
on
to
and off,
someone I could hear.
yes, throughout the night.
Okay. Little guy appears and he walks up to you and he walks up and just puts one hand on, like, I would say your shoulder, but you're probably still more massive than me. So on maybe your chest. And then you start hearing like a description, like you start hearing descriptions and scenes, and then all of a sudden you start seeing, oh, there's an atom. You start seeing images as like, and you can see everything just like you usually would, but these aren't your memories, these aren't your thoughts. As you start realizing that these are memories of other people who have like are crying and sobbing through their own grief, as the little guy starts to these descriptions, and then now all of a sudden, like, these thoughts and becoming these memories, you start almost like being reminded what it feels like to cry for the first time in like 20 years. Kind of like the Giver vibe going on.
Yeah.
And then you just hear like, as like this like montage of just different people grieving, and like very recently through the death of loved ones. You hear little guy's voice saying, "I heard you didn't remember how to cry, or not didn't remember how to cry, but you haven't cried in a while. So I thought I help you remember what it felt like."
He'll
Right.
sort
That's gonna happen right now, for the record. That's not a flashback. That's happening right now.
Oh yes, no, this is good.
Yeah, Baltimore like sort of almost like shake himself out of it, like his mental state, like like posture will change. He'll stand back up, um, and almost like look around the room, like he doesn't even realize what's happened. Like take it all in. Is Then I'll turn back to you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I apologize. If one of you would help me with my armor, I would be out in just a few minutes, and we can continue. And as if nothing happened, he'll turn away from you guys and start to put his room back together very deliberately.
Eos is the only one of all of y'all who can help Fulton with his armor. None of you know how heavy armor is put on.
Very much no.
If you tried to help, it would be like, the dad, like, no, the flashlight, like, over there.
I will say this is the first time you guys would have seen like my face unbandaged and unmasked too. It's literally just, if you guys have seen Kingdom of Heaven, it's King Baldwin. All right. It's just about what you imagine a leper's face is, like mouth partially, like you can see his, like even when he has his mouth closed, you can see his teeth and that sort of stuff, and all rotted away, almost zombie like. But it's pretty rough.
What's up with the subtle undead themes going through half our party, by the way?
I don't know about subtle. Mine's explicit.
But it's really it's just what super advanced leprosy looks like.
Like you should have died a decade ago.
Yeah, this guy should not be alive. And you can see like the scars, like looks like he's suffered a dozen mortal wounds that would have killed any man twice over, and he's
Still kicking.
Cool. I mean, in a kind of horrifying, mysterious way.
Hello, by the way.
what's up, Adam?
Hi, Adam. So, Adam, this is what you weren't. We didn't really discuss how we returned back to the order, but I have to imagine we were singing some drinking songs on the way back.
Perfect.
Lovely thing.
I'm camping.
First. Whoa.
Camping.
Wait,
So I'm only going to be on here for a short while.
nothing
That's
better
right.
to do while camping than play
Hey,
Dungeons and Dragons.
There's a bear behind you.
And suddenly, bears roll for initiative.
I'll start it.
Curse.
Also, I need to leave. So what little guy's gonna do is make up an excuse about needing to go meet with someone, and Owen will tell Tom what that means because I don't know what that means now. But I need an excuse to leave. And in little guy fashion, will walk out the door. He turns a corner and goes into a dark corner and disappears.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Peace out.
You still got the bed sheet, so you can go invisible whenever.
Yes. I'm a spooky ghost.
But the bed sheet will not be invisible because you cast it under the bed sheet.
Oh yes, indeed.
Right.
Like I'm a spooky ghost.
It's got two enormous insectoid eye holes.
It's like this way too, which makes it even better. All right, bye bye. Oh,
Bye.
that's strong.
Mhm.
So, as Vulcan is getting his armor on, y'all are getting your bearings for the morning. Vulcan, you can see that little weird hologram thing float back to Mac and rest on his face.
I assume it looks like his face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I literally think Star Wars style blue hologram, but it is just my face.
That's what I was envisioning. Yeah. All right.
Do what must be done, Lord Vader. I like to think that Volton's kind of a Vader figure. Not figure, but like he's got the mask and burnt up and everything. You know,
Oh, yeah.
just
Vibe is there.
Yeah, it's very much episode 5. You see him without his helmet on. Yeah.
Dude, low key, we've got Lord Vader, we've got C3PO, we've got Curse could be like either Han or Lando, some kind of smuggler, maybe
More,
Greedo.
Han Solo is here.
God. Who knew we were going to Spelljammers right now, guys?
Mm.
Here, here.
From the Underdark to space.
hmm
Yeah.
So, Vulcan, as you look at this shard of obsidian and feel within it so much vision, what's to be done with this object?
I'll bring it up with the group. Yeah.
Fulton, I need to know what you saw when you touched the obelisk.
From what I understand, it's what all of us. A great monolithic structure, of which this is a piece. It almost seems to have been wounded, seeping some sort of ichor into the surrounding area.
I did not see that part.
Am I right about that, Tom?
Yes, the sliver or the gash is sort of bleeding a magical substance, but Mac, you would have seen that substance drop onto the ground, and as it drops, it does not form a puddle, it forms spheres, and those spheres grow eye stalks.
Oh. Volton, I do not believe that what you're holding is part of the obelisk that brought me here. For I believe that this obelisk is of a different substance, different purpose really than the one that brought me here. I do not know what the exact purpose of it is, but I am torn, Volton, because at the core of my being, I want to know. I want to know what this obelisk does specifically. It'd be so good for the school. But to get that thing any closer to where it needs to be, I fear would wreak devastation for. I can only think about at least for Eberron and this world as well. She must not get this shard.
I agree. I am questioning whether it should be destroyed.
I agree.
Whether it can.
I had the
Is
same
that
thought.
in our heads?
Yeah,
She is right, Volton. I had the same thought whether it can be destroyed.
Well, if something was strong enough to tear it out of the obelisk, presumably that same thing would be enough to destroy it.
That is a fair conclusion. But she would not reveal as to how it was broken.
Of course.
You, maybe that is our next move, really, is to figure out how exactly this thing came to be broken off.
Yes, and before that, Occam's razor. Let's get a hammer.
Well, as
It's
you
pretty
wish.
easy to find a hammer in in the headquarters. Bang it against the thing, does not break it.
No, I'm going full Gimli on this thing.
Yep, worth a shot, does not work.
The hammer just.
The hammer does not. Well, there's like damage to its, but only as much as you're like smashing it against something relatively like rough that it cannot break. So
I'm going to order my knights to have someone hitting it 24/7, all day, every day. No, what?
Here's what I'm pondering: is if we were to go to Grackle Stew to figure out how this was broken, then the question is where to leave the obelisk piece that we have, because it seems as if anyone could turn, and I think if we let it out of our hands, then it would be taken with great ease. But the other problem is if we go to the place where it's supposed to fit back in again, then it seems as if we are bringing something right into our grasp.
We could leave it in the vault here, and I would simply take the keys with me. No one would be able to access it.
No one?
No one. You need the keys to get through those doors. They are feet thick. On all of the sides is dozens of feet of stone. The man guarding the door is always one of utmost mental fortitude, and I would trust with my life. And there are only less than a dozen at the order that we allow to do so.
And there are no other keys besides yours.
Just one. Usually the gatekeeper keeps them, but I could take them with me.
How do you know that your guards would not turn and have a very similar situation?
I do not, in the same way I do not know any of you will turn, but there are men I trust more to remain steadfast, and men I trust less. And even should they turn, they would not have the keys to get through the gate.
Well,
Or, of
well,
course, we could take it with us.
it may be worth noting, and you'd be able to recall this, that people from all over Blingdenstone turned. From the Order's headquarters to the furthest reaches of town.
Yeah. In Volton's thought process, it'd still be like, yeah, those are people who are of weaker will or of lesser piety than others.
Absolutely.
I see your point. I just
And of
worry
course,
away.
we could take it with us.
I do not like the idea of taking it with us. For the exact fear of what I originally said of, I do not want the thing getting any closer than it needs to be.
Actually, I think perhaps I have a place to keep it that would be close to us, but well protected.
Better protected than a vault underneath a keep, guarded by 50 knights.
I pull out a small leather sack.
No, I know what it looks like.
This, and I reach my hand in, and it goes farther than what the bag should go, and you hear a as if a giant like wheel made of metal has just turned and unlocked something very heavy. And a small amount of light is like shining from the bag, and you see like breath in winter, like kind of a frost, like cool air beginning to almost spill out from there. And then the air stops. You hear the clank again. It would be nigh impossible for anything to get in besides myself. From my understanding, to be honest, I don't really know what this is, but it has been very hurtful to my own struggles. Oh, bye.
What is that? That is no ordinary bag of holding, is it not?
I don't know what it is. I call it the locker. And it's where I keep my food. It has never.
You want to put this mysterious magical device in a place you don't know what it is with your food.
I'm throwing out. Throwing
eyeballs?
Not specifically, just bodies, I suppose.
What?
Dravik is just like very flustered right now. Look, I don't know what it is. All I know is that it could be a possible solution, that this is a safe place that we could keep with us. And that is it. That is all I know. Examine it if you want.
You eat bodies.
Oh, do you not?
Did you not see?
Ever since this was done to me, motioning to like the eye sockets, the half dead hand, I cannot. Regular food that I used to eat is abhorrent to me. I could not bear to bite it, so
You can underneath his mask, you can see his lip like curl in absolute disgust.
Dravik is like, he like seems visibly smaller. He's like very, very ashamed.
I don't want this thing in your meat locker, Dravik.
It's a thought.
Well, this is not just my decision to make. We can vote. Yes? Any objections? Alright, then shall we take it with us? No? Alright. Shall we put it in the mysterious fridge? No.
I, how secure is your fridge?
Is your
uh,
refrigerator running?
what? It is. I would shudder to think what would happen if anyone else besides myself were to go there. It doesn't. To be honest, it might be something good just to look at. See what. Like, hold out the bag to you, Mac. Do your magic science thing to it and tell me how secure it is.
I can I cast identify on it?
You can try.
I would love to.
Yeah, okay. Same book spread out, same floating, like, diagnostic signs. And as you're reading into this bag, you can see something explicitly demonic in origin. This it's hard to say like what exactly the magic of this bag is, but it's almost as though this bag is just like a literal devil's contract as a bag.
Say, Dravik, where did you get this item from?
I um do I remember, Tom? Like, do I know?
It almost came to you. You just found it.
It's not. It was. I've had it almost ever since I was turned into this.
Remind me, Dravik. She had a play in you becoming what you are, correct?
What'd you say? Sorry.
She had a play at you becoming what you are,
Ooh.
Elishira.
Oh, she. Or maybe it's, I I don't know for certain. I used to live in Krakus too. I was a simple guard. I was a warrior. I would go on raids. I lived. You see, like the Russians start to slip back into.
So you are from Grackles too.
I was Dwergar. I was at a party. I would go out.
Volta and I vote that we put it in your vault.
The Drow did this to me. I was captured by the Drow and they tortured me. And then eventually I woke up and I was like this. But don't know how long. And soon after, I found the bag.
I fear that Grackles too is in general not a safe place at all, and I do not trust whether it's Drow nor Druagar, nor any sort of other races or monstrosities that dwell in that place.
The bag was a gift. I found it outside in the Underdark. It was just there.
And you
It saved
don't think that it was a gift from her.
No, it is not. It is, and he's like clutching the bag, kind of almost white knuckling at this point away from me. It was not. It was good for me.
Mac just puts out his hand and just like keep your bag. But I do not want that obelisk shard in that bag at all, for I do not believe it is safe.
It was just a suggestion. Fine. Just stuffs it back in.
Vault and Talos, would you be okay if we held it in your vault?
I think that's
Not my vault. I don't live here. I don't think it's safe to put it anywhere. I think you leave it here. I think she's going to find a way to get it. I understand, Volton, that you have the only key. It's not the only way to get through a door. It's not the only way to get in anywhere. I think if we leave it, she will find it. She will get it. And we will be able to do nothing to stop her.
Now, Talos.
Yes.
We should only metagame a little bit.
I'm not metagaming.
I kid.
Genuinely think leaving it here is a terrible idea. I also agree that taking it to Gracklestew is a terrible idea. I think that
which idea is the least terrible?
Exactly. I do not know.
Perhaps
I don't know what the least terrible idea is.
Perhaps the least terrible option is for us to actually take it with us, so that at least we could be in good conscience in defending it with our lives, if push that comes to it.
And Mac, you can, see.
I care less about good conscience in this instance, and more about the actual results. If we all die fighting heroically to protect the shard, but it's given to anyways, it's still a lot worse than if we're sitting peacefully in that vault.
Alright.
If our consciences were intact.
Then who do you take in a fight, us or your 50-man guarding it?
That's 50 men.
And we leave it here.
But how quickly could it become 5?
How quickly could we become 0?
Did you not see how many of your men turned?
15 of them, yes. There could be more.
I guarantee you it was
more. I know you could be.
Volton. I understand you love these men more than any of us will ever truly know. I recognize that. For that, I believe in them for you. But I do not wish for this to blind you from the truth. That your will, your steel mind, is not the same mind that they have. Many of them have fallen. Many more can still. And if you truly love these men, why leave something in there that the enemy truly wants and will kill anyone and everything in her way to get? It'll be leaving them there to die.
That is their purpose, is to die. That is our vocation. That is my vocation. I do not sell them so short. These are not mere city guards. These are knights who have served for years, who have been vetted and selected for things just like this, to fight against threats to God's people. And they will fall. That is just as we will fall, just as I will fall, just as you will fall. Perhaps we can leave it here and they can all die with a good conscience.
As long as you are prepared to come back to an empty order and a tomb full of your dead men, then we leave it here.
Would not be the first time. I vote we leave it here. Mac votes we leave it here. What say the two of you?
As I said, if you wish to leave it here, then leave it here.
I'd rather take it with us, but that is all.
Should we? Where is the rest of our troop? Out of game, Mr. DM. Should we? Are we? Should we just like wait for them, or just do it?
Here's the trouble about having like half the party on any given weekend. I think it does not matter this session, probably, whether y'all take the shard or leave it here. I'm inclined to put it to some kind of vote in the group chat.
Yeah,
But,
I was sort of thinking
and that will culminate in a brief discussion and vote at the top of the next session.
where the other party comes. Hey, what are y'all talking about? Oh, we were just being super edgy.
You're just being freaking edgy, bro. Just
Dude.
trying to carve tears into our masks, bro, and like talk
Yeah.
about how we eat people, bro. It's just like, bro.
Bro,
Yeah.
we're just talking about our wounds over here.
I was talking about like darkest secret. No. Also, Mac is now a updated robot, so
He's on iOS 15 now, baby.
Big moves.
Taylor still needs to go to confession for all the dwarves he killed again. So
He
Yes.
first needs to be sorry.
Yeah, I first have to be sorry.
Matt.
I feel no. I feel no sorrow.
Hey, this is another valid confession in years. Keep going.
Mr. DM, sir, Mac also would love to go to Dr. Dwarflin and ask him about how his research is going.
Okay.
I would be very
Yeah.
interested in that as well.
Are y'all planning to go to Grackle Stew?
Yes.
I think that's the step.
Okay, great.
DM's acting surprised that we're going to be.
Well, I don't quite know what your plan is there, but that's fine.
I'm going to Neverwinter, actually.
I'm burning it down.
We're just leaving. I'm just done. I'm going to take the shard and I'm going to throw it in the ocean.
Yeah, that went super well for the ring.
Hey, 2,000 years. Bottom time.
That's a good point. Eye blink for Sauron.
Just delay the inevitable.
Right. If you keep delaying the inevitable forever.
That is the story of Vecna. One day.
Mac, you had a question. You had a question for me. What was it? Sorry, Dwardlin. Okay.
Dwardlin.
So, as we prepare on the road to Grackle Stew, Mac's gonna visit Dr. Dwardlin. Volton, at least, will probably be gearing the group up. Teos Dravik. Teos, do you have anything that needs done?
Suppose not.
Okay.
He would probably find Father Stark and go to confession. Whether it's valid or not is for him to know and the Lord to know, I suppose. But unless you wish to, I feel no need to roleplay it unless you'd like.
Yeah. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 2 days since my last confession.
Been 2 days since my last confession. I killed many people again. I am death. Amen.
Amen. I
You know,
believe.
if you're in a war, it's sometimes like it could be a mortal sin, but anyway. Dravik, is there anything that you need to do?
Actually am really interested in the findings of the good doctor, so I will
Okay.
probably go with Mac. Depending on how much time that takes before, and I think Dravik is feeling really sad, very rejected right now, and he's at some point before we leave is going to uh, go to the locker.
It
Again,
yeah, yeah,
but that's yeah.
yeah. And just looking in there briefly as you did before, you can't shake the feeling that it's getting a little scant. You're not sure how much longer it'll last.
Uh,
So
before I leave the locker, thinking about the flying beholder looking thing, uh, I am going to grab, since there's kind of more rows of empty where bodies might hang on the meat hooks. I'm gonna
mhm.
grab 2 meat hooks off and see if I can take them with me.
Okay. You are not able to take things away from the locker. At least not things it doesn't want you to take.
Cool. That's all. I'm gonna go with Mac.
Okay, great. Mac, you and Dravik are headed to the. There's been like a small sort of outpost set up right by the guard house, and they've been kind of retrofitting it into this like apothecary. Uh, by now, the bodies have been counted, and most of them have been returned to their next of kin or their previous of kin or their families in whatever way that they have. Um, y'all see Sister Catalin, the other sisters. You see Dr. Dwolfin Dwerglin, and you uh, obviously would recognize again the were rat, your friend from before. So y'all, um, uh, what what needs asked? What needs to happen?
Doctor, how's your research going? Have you ever been able to discover anything?
Uh, um, well, it is visibly clear that Dr. Dwerglin did not sleep last night. He is looking ragged. Yeah, uh, but through the dark circles, he can say, "Oh, as quick to business as ever, Mac. Hello, welcome in. Um, I've not been doing much research, if I'm totally honest. There have been too few potions to go around, and I've spent much time sharing my findings with these fine members of the order who are going to look for the requisite fungi for the potions that are required. Um, what was I to research with you again? Forgive me. My memory slips.
Well, I simply asked to discover the nature of
I,
how this creature produces such debilitating effects, really,
I
and if there's a way of stopping it.
tried. Yes, certainly. Um, well, I could, um, I could, I don't know how long such an experiment or a set of experiments would take, but it oh yeah, it might be some time.
I understand.
I could probably share some findings in a couple of days.
Do you perhaps have anything that will allow us to communicate? We are going to be going to, um, what's the place?
A Greckle stew.
Grackle Stew. We're going to be moving to Grackle Stew here soon, and yeah, I just was wondering if you have anything that would allow us to communicate so that we do not have to come back, as we do not know when we will come back.
Oh, well, I could I'm sure you're familiar with sending stones. I can achieve an effect similar to that.
With a mushroom.
With a mushroom. You catch on quickly, Bravik. I have one bag, and that's the one. So, um, yes, that will take no time at all to whip up. I thank you for some needed levity. It's good to be talking about, and as he says this, he's like got two mushrooms, and he's like putting them almost in like an alcohol shaker, like, but they're like, it has been quite a few days. Um, there we are. Here, take it. Right, right. And when I speak into the, and you can like feel some like spores popping out on your face as you like as the message is transmitted. Um, there's just a thin haze of pollen that collects on your shoulder.
I can actually drink the stuff, so there's that.
Mm-hmm. This is one of my first findings. When I was no older than 17, I discovered how to. Well, I'll spare you the details. But uh, um, so you're headed off to Grackles, too. That's a blasted dangerous place. Are, are you to is there a reason for the visit? More information on
That's ever
quite
happened here, yeah.
quite well. Um, uh, glad that it's in such competent hands. I fear I would be of little help to you. But if you need some mushrooms, I'd be happy to see you to my personal staff. If need be. Most of the folk here are stable, though the doses need to be administered every 4 hours or 8 if they're resting.
Sure, we would love to indulge.
Well, and take it this time. He points to the were right. And he leaves for his study, and y'all have access to like a suite of mushrooms. I will text some further details on that so as not to spend the time now, but y'all have access to a little shroom trove.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Where so post the battle, they've been like gathering both the bodies to be buried and like the sick and stuff. The sick and injured and whatnot have been taken to the keep. Is this also where we're burying all the dead? What's that looking like? I guess.
there are graveyards in Blingdenstone. There's presently the order is figuring out how the Catholics will hold their funeral. It is most likely that there will be one sort of grand funeral ceremony wherein the bodies of the many dead will be buried together.
Hmm.
The holes are presently being dug by the knights that remain, the members of the order. Pardon me. Yeah. And by holes dug, it's, more like picked mines. There are a lot of gnomes who happen to be proficient in magic that relates to the earth and crafting it. So they have a lot of capacities to like mold earth, create uh, um, a lot of space very quickly that way. So there are some members of the order that have access to that. They can, whoop, whoop, uh, yeah. So
Okay.
that'll probably be tomorrow morning. That will be prepared and undertaken.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Y'all are Volton. How many days journey are you going to like prepare for?
Well, how far is Dragon's Tooth?
The trip to Gracklestew is 28. I believe it's 28. Either 28 miles or 28 days, and that's a really substantial difference. All right.
28 days or
It
28
is
miles.
actually my first time opening this book since, boy, I really don't know. Okay, there we are. So, we've got Gracklestew to, yeah, Gracklestew to Blingdenstone is 20 days.
Well,
Long trek.
Yes.
I'm so ready.
Yeah, I think, pack up as much. If I could get us some mounts so we could pack them up too, so we could have more than enough provisions for just 28 days.
I also, Dravical kind of like points out, kind of on the map, just that like around halfish way between Gracklestew and Blingdenstone, he knows of a safe house that would have some provisions
Mm-hmm.
there as well. So, I don't know where.
Also, y'all would know the way to Gracklestew. One sec, I'm gonna use the restroom, but yeah, after that I will have info for you. Quick pee break.
I haven't been able to pee for 20 years.
I just read.
Go ahead.
I just read. I have no mouth, but I cannot scream. Like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of messed up. It's a really existentially horrific sci-fi short story, and we're like AI has taken over the world. It's like hundreds of years in the future, and there's like 7 people left alive, and just
Who's it?
it basically just tortures them forever and ever. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's the setting.
Who's the author again?
I don't remember. I don't remember his name.
There's some big dogs out there that write like that. Classic. What were you gonna say, Dan?
What was I gonna say? It was. Oh, I was just about to say that like things are getting crazy. I have a bad feeling about the shard being kept in the vault.
Oh, I do too. That's kind of why I want to do it.
Why
I
don't you
didn't
put
want
in
to do
my
it.
meat locker, bro. It could be refrigerated. It'll keep for longer in there. It'll be.
Well, first is like that actually sounds really really good, and like, oh,
Yeah. Yep.
You keep dead bodies in there.
All the time. Yeah. It's like Dravik is like so used to it at this point. He's like, well, we just keep it in there. He's like, oh wait, no, this is pretty
that's not.
bad. I shouldn't have brought this up.
Okay. So, Grackle Stew. Those who have been to Grackle Stew or would know like a lot about it, Volton, you'd probably know in theory.
Yeah, I've been out and about for years.
Mm-hmm. There is a section of Grackle Stew that is like a trade district where those who are not Dwergar are welcome. There are like residences there for non-Dwergar residents. Very recently, the Darrow, who are like kind of like crazy halflings, yeah, halfling, almost more like Underdark goblins, but they have recently gained citizenship in Grackleshoe, give or take. They're still like not real citizens. It's like right after, you know, the Emancipation Proclamation, and like even like, you know, up to the Civil Rights Movement. It's like they are citizens, strictly speaking.
Ish.
So anyway, Darrow live in the greater Dwergar area. There is a district where trade comes in, new people come in. And that would be your entrance. So
I would assume they wouldn't let some of us in. Like obviously they wouldn't just let Teos walk in.
no, you would have
Probably
to.
wouldn't let me walk in. I
Yeah,
don't know who else.
They definitely won't let me walk in.
Yeah,
Y'all would need a reason to be going in.
because I really, really want to.
Classic.
That sounds like a good reason to me.
So, like, if you don't let me in, there's an implication.
Perhaps saving reality is a good reason.
I don't think they care about reality. Look at how they live their life.
What do you
Communist.
talk?
Communist,
Fair
bro.
point.
Bunch of
Fair point.
communists.
Very well. Goodbye.
They actually, Dwerdar do have a free market society. It's worth noting. They are actually hella capitalist, but like in a bad way.
Nah, base Durgar. I'm joining them now.
I knew it.
I mean, Seamus? Question mark.
Yeah.
Are we there? Like, have we journeyed or are we setting off?
No,
Whatever.
no.
Right outside the gate.
I was
So
gonna say we're
not
Roll initiative.
20 days.
we,
We're actually in the temple. Let's go.
I want some wandering.
Wandering.
Yeah, no, we'll gear up. I can give everyone a riding lizard,
I'm a wanderer.
that sort of stuff.
I
From
think on
the
the way,
stables.
on the way
Pretty
we
name should be the Wandering Lizards.
The wandering lizards.
yeah. In lieu of horses, what's generally ridden in the Underdark are like lizards.
Yeah.
So
I named mine Geico.
the things that I need to know. First, are we planning to go by land or are we planning to go by Dark Lake? Dark Lake would be the most direct route. It would run you past Slubladop.
Is that like sailing? Like it's an underwater sea?
Yeah.
I know there's an option.
I
I think you should ride. That's cooler.
I will admit Mac has never been on a boat before. He is going to vote for land.
Cool.
Mostly out of fear for what's in an Underdark Lake.
Nothing.
Why would you be afraid of anything in this campaign? Come now. How many eyes is a kraken supposed to have?
7.
One for each tentacle.
Anyway,
Land is cool.
okay,
Land.
we are going.
Land ho.
We take the
Looks
lizards.
like we're fairly decided on land. I know for a fact Owen's gonna vote C, but I'm pretty sure most of y'all are voting land.
Mhm.
So that's good. Okay. So
Do we want to? How much more do you have today?
this actually seems to me like a fine place to stop.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. Oh, that's where we are. Okay, gotcha. So, we know our destination. We know our path, give or take. We will be heading there next session.
Do you have a map you could like put in the chat or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
We like maps.
I think things, a couple like to-dos that we need to do on our journey to there is to figure out how we're getting in, because it will be revealed, or slash it already has been, that both Edwin and Dravik are fugitives in the city of Breckelstew. And which also Dravik is going to go and get Edwin, try to get him to come with before we head out.
I can cover one of you guys. I have a cloak of disguise, so
I can turn invisible once a day. So
Am I wanted? I've
Like-
murdered a lot of dwarves. Am I wanted in Grackles too? Do they know that I exist? Do they just know that there's this dude that murders people?
Catholics, by default, wanted, right?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So
This is Russia.
known members of the Catholic Church, especially wanted. They probably
Dude.
So, am I the only member besides Curse that's probably not wanted in this place?
Maybe
What
little guy.
about little guy?
Maybe little guy too.
He could probably just like, what the heck is that? You know.
You know.
Yeah.
He's my son.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm Catholic and I've murdered 32 dwarves in the last week.
You're
So
wanted for 2 felonies.
So we're gonna have a fun time. It's a big sneaky sneak time.
It's gonna be great.
Best part is that there's dwarf eyes everywhere, not just Belashir's eyes.
Right, and it seems that Belashira is they're very fond of probably her, and so eyes everywhere.
Big brother.
They see
and
everything. Nothing can go wrong, guys. Nothing can go wrong.
And Valton, probably the stealthiest character you've seen in your life. Like he will blend in.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm gonna make the first time.
heavy armor clanging.
Yeah. First time you actually make a good stealth roll, like with your character, is when you're gonna start getting sick again.
Yeah.
Little leper. Little leper. Great.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Are we? There was mention a few weeks ago of getting together over Thanksgiving break.
Mm.
Is that still a possibility? And because I'll be in Cedar Rapids for that.
Yeah, that's the plan. Is the second weekend, so the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Y'all are welcome to. I think we'll just play on Saturday. Right now, I think that's the vibe. But peeps can come hang out at my place on Friday, and then
In Dubuque.
in Dubuque. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So be at our place. You're very welcome to. We have room. So y'all can slumby pee at the Pro Chateau. We'll have drinks. We'll have food. We'll have good times. And then I think we'll play a decent amount on that Saturday. That'd be like the 29th or something. 29th, 30th.
30th.
30th. Okay.
Okay,
So-
29th and 30th November.
Mm-hmm. I will not be joining, unfortunately. It is big sad, but I will be on Discord all day.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll set up like a thing so that you can see everything and all that jazz on the computer. Great. Yeah, but otherwise, definitely. I can send out another message in the group me about the details, but it'd basically be like come anytime in the afternoon on Friday. Hang. We'll make some like home big old meal, little kind of Friendsgiving kind of vibes.
Mhm.
Hang out. We could play a little bit on Friday night if we want to.
I will throw out Gladiator 2 comes out November 22nd.
Okay.
Come on.
I haven't seen the first one.
Wait, what?
Oh,
All right, well, let's do that tonight, Thomas.
Yeah.
Like right now, actually.
great!
It's one of the. It's easily in my top 10 movies, maybe top 5
It's fantastic.
ever.
It's good.
I think
okay.
actually tonight I'm watching it with some guys here.
Oh
That's
yeah,
legit.
baby.
Nah,
It's
nice.
an option for
Now
the
I
movie.
kind of want to watch it tonight.
I was gonna say it comes out next weekend actually, so I'm definitely gonna watch it with some guys here as well. So
Sweet.
Okay.
This is a good time.
Yeah. Okay. I might
Chris,
actually watch it tonight.
Yeah, you will.
I have access to it, so.